Hi everyone, I've just been doing some experimenting today with alcohol inks, Copics, blending solution and rubbing alcohol, and just thought I would show you how I've created these backgrounds that I've then used to die cut flowers from using these techniques. So I'm starting with some photo paper, some glossy photo paper. It's not very expensive. This is the blending solution from Adirondack, but you can also use rubbing alcohol, which is, I think I just got this bottle from the supermarket, so it's much easier to find. Just got a piece of acetate and eggplant alcohol ink there, and I want quite a dark background, so I'm going to just rub that on and then drip rubbing alcohol on there. And then I'm just going to move it around a little bit with my finger to bring that colour together a little. I'm pulling the colour in from the edges because if you push outwards then all the colour pulls on the outer edges, and I don't want that. And then I'm going to put my photo paper on the glossy side down, and you can see that because this photo paper has got a paper backing, it soaks all the way through, which is fine, and I actually really like the effect that you get on the glossy side. So I'm just removing that, and I decided I wanted a little bit of stronger sort of patches of colour on that piece. So I'm just going in again with my eggplant. This time I'm using the blending solution, but as I said, you don't have to use the blending solution. I think it actually moves the colour around a little bit more than the rubbing alcohol, but they're fairly similar. But you could try both if you have both, or just get the rubbing alcohol because it's easier to get a hold of. Then just put my piece on there again, lift that off, and you can see I've got those darker splotches there as well. So that's just using one colour of alcohol ink, and you get that little variation in light and shade as well. This time I tried using Copic markers, and I'm just going to use the chisel end of my Copic, and that's the B28 that I've got there. And then I've also used a V17, and then I decided I wanted a little bit of darker purple there too, and so I used a BV08. Then just to dribble the rubbing alcohol on. You'll find that you need to just experiment with the amount of rubbing alcohol. You don't want too much, but you want enough to be able to move the colour properly around. And then I'm just moving that a little bit with my finger to merge the colours slightly. And then I'm just going to lay my bit of glossy photo paper on that. So I didn't have any UPO paper, and I didn't really want to go and spend extra money on that when I already had this paper to experiment with, so that's what I used today, and it really worked out quite fine. I'm just dabbing off the excess moisture there, and there was also a bit of a wrinkle in the paper, but actually when it dried it wasn't wrinkly anymore, it actually flattened out, so that was fine. And you could leave it like this if you want to have that nice smooth finish, but if you like the variation in colour, then just go in again with a little bit more. This time I've done circles of colour just to pull the colour in certain areas a little bit more. And I also wanted to flip the cards so that the colours were in the opposite position to before. So just dribbling a little bit of that rubbing alcohol on, moving it around with my fingers just a little. You can move it less if you want the colours to be more obvious and contrasted, and then flip the paper glossy side down on top of that. And just leave it for a few minutes and then take it off. So you can see it gives a really lovely effect. These are some of the other ones I've done. This one I did with Copic markers, and I just wanted to show you how you can actually make it quite light if you want. This one was with alcohol ink, it was with pool alcohol ink. That's Copic markers again, and getting a little bit lighter. I just use less Copics. Again lighter, so I just use less of the Copic colour. And really quite light there, so only a tiny bit of the Copics. And this is the piece once it had dried. And so in my cards I actually then made sure I put an anti-static pad over this piece. I stamped the flowers in Versamark, and then white embossed them and cut them out. So I did the same one with this on the eggplant. So that was just my quick technique video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have fun with this if you're going to have a little bit of a play with the technique. It was really enjoyable and gave some great results. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.